Good afternoon, everyone. My name is John Schaefer. I'm the Associate Director for Graduate Student Success and Professional Development with the Graduate School here at UTSA. And welcome to our first of three sessions in our Career Pathways series. And this semester, we are focused on our college for health, community, and policy. And I am very pleased that we have one of our esteemed alum here with us, Dr. Leti Cavazos. Dr. Leti Cavazos is a highly accomplished individual with a diverse skill set and extensive experience in social work. As the founder and CEO of Cannenta Center for Healing and Empowerment, she has been instrumental in promoting healing and empowerment among the Hispanic community. Dr. Leti's commitment to social work is further reflected in her role as the founder of Cannenta Foundation, which focuses on providing support to vulnerable populations while breaking financial and language barriers. Having earned a master's social work degree from the University of Texas at San Antonio and a doctor of social work degree with a specialization in clinical practice and leadership from the University of Tennessee. As a licensed clinical social worker, she has further honed her skills through advanced training in trauma therapy. Her commitment to understanding and addressing the unique challenges faced by marginalized communities is exemplified in her research study assessing the characteristics of male victims of domestic violence experiencing homelessness. Specializing in trauma therapy, Dr. Leti has leveraged her expertise to develop culturally adaptive evidence-based modalities tailored to the specific needs of minority populations. Her impactful contributions to the field of social work have garnered recognition, and in 2020, she was honored as one of the top 10 dedicated and deserving social workers by Social Work Today. Congratulations. This prestigious acknowledgement reflects her dedication and hard work in making a positive difference in communities. Dr. Leti's influence extends beyond accolades. In 2023, the Cannenta Center, under her leadership, received the Emerging Business Award from the Greater Dallas Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, recognizing its outstanding contributions. In 2024, Dr. Leti herself was bestowed with the Leaders in Diversity Award by the Dallas Business Journal, further underscoring her commitment to fostering diversity and inclusion. These awards affirm Dr. Leti's significant impact and exemplify her continuous efforts to address social challenges. Dr. Leti's passion for social work is further demonstrated by her effort to participate in the establishment of the first male domestic violence shelter in Texas. Her innovative approach to addressing social issues has helped countless individuals who may have otherwise been left without support. Her work has been featured in numerous local magazines, which is a testament to the impact she has made in the community. Overall, Dr. Leti Cavazos is an exceptional social worker whose expertise and commitment have made a significant impact on the lives of many individuals. Her work in trauma therapy, her dedication to supporting marginalized communities, and her innovative approach to addressing social issues have earned her widespread recognition and respect in the field of social work. I am happy to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Leti Cavazos.
Hello, and thank you for having me today. I'm so excited to be here and to talk to you a little bit about my journey and my career. And when I'm going to get started, I'm going to have to go backwards a lot to talk about how I ended up where I am today. And I was a non-traditional student, meaning that I started my college career later in life, kind of. I was a young single mom. I was a teen mom, and then I ended up being a single mom of two kids. And so school was something I always strived to do, but it was not something that I could do full time. So I took classes at the community college little by little. And in that, I don't want to say I was first generation college student because my dad received his bachelor's degree, but he kind of did it the same way. He was in the military. And after he retired from the military, he completed the degree because he was taking classes little by little also. And so in that journey, I really didn't have anybody to guide me on how to take classes and how to accomplish a degree. And so I love to tell the story about I went to go register for class and they wouldn't let me register. I was going to San Antonio College and they wouldn't let me register. And they're like, sweetie, you can't come here anymore. You have over 100 credits. You need to go somewhere else. And so I had to figure out what my next step was. And so I was able to go to Texas A&M San Antonio and just kind of hear, this is everything I have. What can I do with it? And so they helped me reach that finish line of getting my bachelor's degree. And that was a huge accomplishment for me because I had been working on it for so many years. And to finally have somebody bring it together and create this degree. And I knew that I wanted to keep going. And so I graduated in December, and in January, I started at UTSA in the master's program. Now, I said that my dad was in the military, so we moved around a lot. And so starting at UTSA was the first time in my academic career, my college career, that, well, in all my academic career, that I started a program and finished a program with the same people I started. And so UTSA had such a huge impact on how I viewed school because I had the same colleagues, I had the professors, and they were the first ones because they knew us so well that really recognized strengths in me and encouraged me and really helped me to recognize that this is what I wanted to do. And a lot of the professors that were there really encouraged me and to look inside and recognize that within myself because I really didn't see it. You know, being a single mom and having spent so many years trying to get a degree, you kind of question yourself a little bit. The good thing about knowing that social work was what I wanted to do, I wanted to help people that were struggling the way that I had was struggling at the time. Is that I had the opportunity to work in the field even without the degree when I was getting my undergrad. So I had the experience and I had opportunities that were afforded to me that probably was out of luck that I was able to get into management positions. And one of the things that I absolutely fell in love with was program development. So creating new programs, creating new ways of helping people and providing services to individuals in need, identifying what the gaps were in the community to make sure that those needs were met. And so with UTSA having that experience, you know, really amplifying those skills in me when I graduated from there, a lot of the professors that were there stayed with me as my mentors. And so I was really, really lucky to have Dr. Ambrosino, who was the chair when I was there, and Dr. Amy Chamugan, who took over afterwards. Both of them became really great mentors for me. And when I graduated from UTSA, I was able to get into a position at a local the mental health authority in San Antonio to build a program for chronic homeless and who are struggling with severe mental illness. And so that program was grew to serve, trying to think of those 80 men and 60 women at any given time that were being serviced through that program. And so that was a great experience right out of the graduate program that I know a lot of people weren't afforded, you know, supervisory jobs right out of school. But what it also did is it positioned me to help other students from UTSA. And so I was able to hire a lot of people that I knew from school. I was able to provide supervision for a lot of interns that were looking for experience. And so being able to pour back into the school that way was an opportunity that I had that helped me really support the program that helped me so much. And during that time that I was running the program, I also saw that there was a need to bring the social workers together from UTSA. And so me myself and one of my friends got together and we approached the school and said, we really want to create something for the alums. And so we got together and created the social work alumni group, which we call SWAG. And so with that, we were able to start building out opportunities for us to come together and get to know who's working in what areas and how do we support each other. But the other big thing that we were able to do was start offering conferences to social workers in San Antonio. And so in that conference, everybody that spoke were UTSA alums. And so we were highlighting the quality and quantity of social workers that were graduating from UTSA and the experience and knowledge that they had to share with the community. And all the money that was raised through the conference was poured back into UTSA as scholarships. And so incoming students could apply for the scholarships to help them cover the cost of school. And so really helping give back in that way. So I think at that time is when I really adapted the motto of lift as you rise. And so how do I help others to accomplish what they set out to accomplish as I'm growing in my career? And so that all of this was happening and I knew I wanted to do more. And so I talked to my mentors, and another great mentor that I had was Dr. Rebecca Gomez, and she taught at UTSA for a little bit, and then she ran the Ph.D. program at Our Lady of the Lake. And so we talked for a while, and I told her I wanted to get my doctorate degree, but I just didn't know what that would look like. And so I knew that in a PhD program, a lot of that is teaching and research. And I didn't know that's what I wanted to do. And we found the Doctorate of Social Work program at the University of Tennessee, because they didn't offer that in San Antonio at the time. And in that program, they really taught not just clinical supervision and leadership, but they also taught how do you run an organization? How do you do strategic planning? How do you do budgeting? All the things that were kind of missed in the master's program. And I think every time I get a degree, I have this aha moment of, oh my gosh, why didn't I know this? And so getting my doctorate degree helped kind of elevate that skill set a little bit more and prepare me for what was to come. And so in this time that I'm getting my doctorate degree, we moved to Dallas, and I had an amazing role of running one of the domestic violence shelters up here. And in that space, not only were we helping the women that were being served, but we were seeing a lot of men calling in who were victims of domestic violence also. And a lot of people aren't prepared for serving men. When you think about domestic violence, you think about women. And so again, this is another gap in services. And how do we provide the same quality of services to the men as we do to the women? And so really in that role, I was able to build the groundwork for the first male domestic violence shelter in Texas. And that was really exciting, but it was also really hard because there was so much kind of bias about men being victims. And so that's where I focused my doctoral research and kind of looking at how do we address this in a way that it really speaks to what the experiences the men are having and how to help them work through that trauma. So that was a really great experience. I left that job and went to another nonprofit that was new to build their residential program for women and children in crisis. And I was there for a while, and then COVID hit. And so just, I think like everybody else, I sat back and thought about what is it that I want to do, because I knew that I really enjoyed program development. I knew that that was my passion. I knew I wanted to help and I wanted to address gaps in services. And now I have this experience and I have this education that opened a lot of doors for me. I think that having the doctorate degree really did open more doors than I would have had before. And I realized that the gap here in Dallas was serving the Hispanic community. There wasn't a lot of services available in English and Spanish that understood the culture. And I think coming from San Antonio, that kind of sat with me a little bit different, that those services weren't readily available. And so I decided in 2021 to start a group counseling practice to serve the Hispanic community and to be able to speak English, Spanish, bring the family, whoever, really addressing the culture. We were open probably 6 months when I realized that a lot of people were hearing about us and um, are wanting services, but they didn't have the financial means to do that and to seek services. And so at that point, I had to make a decision of how are we going to serve this without jeopardizing the pay of the clinicians. And so we decided to open the nonprofit arm of it so that we can help serve individuals who are seeking healing and but can't afford it. They're undocumented, uninsured, underinsured. And so we applied for 501. The next year we opened the nonprofit. Now, going back to all the skill sets that I learned, there was two big things that were missing, and that I've never worked in for profit, which is what the group counseling center was. And in the nonprofit sector, I've never done grant writing, marketing, all of the things that need to be done to raise money. And so leaning back on mentors, I found myself having to go back to that and seek out the help of those that had that experience. And I think all of this, as I look back on all the experiences, is that it's really important to surround yourself with people who have the knowledge and skills and seek out their wisdom to help you go to the next level. Because if you try to do it by yourself, there's no way that you can know everything. And again, I was very blessed to have people in my life that leaned in and said, you know what? I know how to do bookkeeping. I'll help you with that. I know how to do marketing. I'll help you with that. And through that, I was able to meet a lot of great people and create a lot of collaborations that help. And so the nonprofit part was kind of easy for me in the sense that I've always done nonprofit management. I've always been kind of in that space. But the for-profit was really a huge learning curve for me. And we again kept looking at what are the gaps? How do I get here? And I want to back up a little bit and just kind of talk about when you're in this space and it's new, imposter syndrome. I know you've heard of it. It creeps in because who am I to think that I can do all of this? I'm learning as I'm going. And the other part is depending on where you came from, where I came from, we learned that you get a job and you do your job and you keep your head down and at the end it'll pay off. And so when you're disrupting that norm and you're saying, I'm going to do this myself and I'm going to do this way, and I know that there's more out there than just getting a job and getting a paycheck, it feels scary and it feels different. And you find yourself a lot, kind of second guessing your choices sometimes, because you're going into the unknown if you don't have people around you that have done it themselves. What I found is a lot of people in minority space, haven't done it themselves, and they don't have the people immediately around you to guide you, and so you have to seek it out. And naturally, I'm more of an introvert than an extrovert, and but I had to go out and do the networking. I had to go out and shake hands and introduce myself and tell them what our mission was and what we were hoping to accomplish so that people could get on board. So it's kind of getting out of your comfort zone to be able to do that. I don't think that I would have been able to do that had I not had all those mentors so many years ago that believed in me, that saw my strength, that helped me through that. And I don't I don't take that lightly. And so a lot of the work that we do again is how do you lift as you rise? And so in our nonprofit, part of the nonprofit is serving the individuals that need counseling at low cost or no cost. But the other part of the nonprofit is how do we help elevate others? How do we help people pass their licensing exams so that they can serve others? There's more people out in the community that look like them, that speak like them, that can serve them. And so what we do in that part of the nonprofit is we provide tutoring for the state tests. We provide free supervision. We pay for the cost of the state test as often as you need to take it, because we know that people give up. A couple years ago, ASWB, who was the overarching entity for the state, for all the exams, licensing exams, put out a report. And in that report, it talked about how brown and black social workers were passing at a lower rate than their white counterparts. And so we had to really take a look at that. And so how do we set people up for success? Because by not passing the test, every time you take the test, you're looking at anywhere from, $300 to $500, and you can only take it so many times and you give up. Well, we're losing a lot of brown and black social workers because they can't pass the test. So we were in a great position to do that, to be able to help people get past the finish line. And all of the work that we do, I want to keep going back to, is it all came from somebody believing in me when I was not sure about what I was doing. Even going to grad school, there was some doubt about, I knew I wanted to do it, but can I do it? Like only smart people that go to school right out of high school go to grad school. Who was I to go to grad school? And those professors, those mentors, those people that believed in me helped me get to that point. There were a lot of lessons learned, through this, but I think the voices of those mentors kept me going forward. And I probably would have quit a long time ago had it not been for them. So now we're in that space of, we have the counseling center, we have the nonprofit, we have the part of the nonprofit that's trying to elevate others and trying to serve. We have two offices here in Dallas and one in San Antonio. And so we're really trying to reach as many people as we can. And virtually, we serve people all over the state. And so seeing the need that's out there, seeing that we can fulfill the need, all of this kind of trickles back to, I have to give credit to everybody that believed in me and in my colleagues and gave us that opportunity and opened doors for us. I want to go back to kind of grad school at UTSA. In that program, I learned a lot about how to serve people, how to recognize biases, how to make sure that the individuals that we serve feel like they're the experts of their lives, that we provide non-judgmental, unconditional regard. and in that program too, we learned, there was a class that I took from one of the Dr. Ambrosino, Dr. Bob Ambrosino, and it was, I think it was transformational leadership, and we had to create our own nonprofit. And I think in the business program, they do that too. And that was my first kind of taste of what it was to create something on your own. And then going into the doctoral program, like I said, they taught us more about strategic planning and budgeting and vision, the missions, and all of that. And I bring this up because as you're going through school, one of the words of wisdom I got is that the degree is kind of the foundation of your knowledge. And it's up to you to kind of seek out the additional expertise that you want. And so they gave me kind of the solid foundation of this is where I am, but all the other additional things that were kind of the trauma training and the expertise in different areas, I had to seek that out. And so understanding that your degree will open doors, but it's up to you to continue to seek out where it is you want to be a subject matter expert. Where is it that you want to be in your professional life? How do you want people to view you? And always remembering who helped you get there. So I think that the takeaways that I want you to have here is just really understanding that it takes a lot of people to help you get where you're at, and that not to take that for granted, not to miss opportunities to build relationships with those people that have the knowledge that you would benefit you as you continue on your journey and your career journey. And I would love to hear from you guys if you have any questions. I think that's about my whole story.